Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Friday show. This is the Associated Guest. I, as always, am your host, Alfie Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. Today, very sad news. The man who played Shang Tsung himself, Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa, from Mortal Kombat, The Man in the High Castle, and even in was it Mortal Kombat 11, the DLC, reprised his role as Shang Tsung. He seemed like a very kind man in everything I've ever seen him in. All the interviews, he was very, very kind, despite his very stern, mean, angry face. But he has passed away at the age of 75. It's quite the loss. I know he hasn't done a whole lot, but this guy. Oh, fucking hell, Adam. Look at that, just throwing hell at him. But yeah. It's just horrible. I love I know the Mortal Kombat movies weren't good at all. But they're very nostalgic, especially the original one. But this guy, he popped up in a few other things. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. He's popped up ironically in a couple of things. I know I've seen him in several other things, but all through my childhood. But he was a great actor, just a massive presence on the screen, and I hate that he's not going to be in anything else. I love seeing him in the DLC. I didn't play it. Because, let's face it, Mortal Kombat 11 and even more so Mortal Kombat 1 sucked out loud. But it's very sad that man died. But just wanted to cover that a little bit because the man deserves to be recognized today. He didn't do a whole lot, but he did a whole lot for me, especially in my childhood. Hell of an actor. We're going to look into what Benny Johnson has to say about Candace Owens apparently accepted TPUSA Charlie Kirk murder debate offer and then made some demands. Let's go see what those demands are. Those of you that know me here at this channel, I've never liked Candace Owens, ever. I didn't like her as a liberal. I didn't like her as a conservative. She's a grifter. She's an entitled... I wouldn't say elite. I mean, she is now. She's the biggest podcast on the conservative side of things. She claims that she's bigger than Joe Rogan. We all know that's not true. And I'm not a huge fan of Benny Johnson. He seems like a decent enough fellow, but he's like Alex Stein light, and even Alex Stein's like a lot. He seems like a hell of a lot of fun, and I love seeing him on side scrollers. But let's see. That's a hell of a face to freeze on. What Benny's got on the Candace Owens situation.
Aftermath of Candace Owens and her breakup, very ugly decoupling and divorce from the Daily Wire, she offered to debate Ben Shapiro about why she left the company or why her contract was canceled. And this was something that obviously went way thermonuclear, was laundered into the public. The two of them were going back and forth with each other. Big debate about whether Christ is king, and so on and so forth online. Christ, of course, is king, and I think there's so much that story that we will never know because...
Candace Owens, look, whether you like her or not, she picks the most ridiculous arguments. I don't think that she really thinks that TPUSA killed Charlie Kirk. I think she was in love with him. I really, really do. And when they fell out, I think that just kind of crushed her, and she kind of went nuts. And then to the extent that she went the exact opposite way and married the bestie of one of the Tates.
Of NDAs, because of lawsuits, and also because right when the debate was allegedly supposed to happen between Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens, Candace Owens was hit with a gag order from a judge. She said wasn't allowed to talk about any of it. And that was that. I think that's a shame because I believe that it would have been really good for both sides to hear their opinions and to hear their worldviews sort of crystallized there. Something magical happens when you're in a room with somebody one-on-one. When you're in person, you end up seeing the other person as a lot more human, and so often a very good thing. I'm pro people talking. I am pro more conversation, not less, more debate, not less, more people hashing out their ideas. They don't have to agree on everything. They often won't. But it'll be good for everyone to see that at the very least we can have a pressure release valve, right? In that scenario, we didn't get it. Instead, we got more lawsuits and more litigious, and that's a shame. Because I think it would have been good for Shapiro and for Candace for that to have happened. Anyway, that's ancient history. It was happening about 16 months ago. That was going down.
Ancient history as far as the internet's concerned.
And so now, fast forward to today, Candace Owens is sparring, obviously, with Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk's team.
Because she's the worst.
And has taken advantage of the public's desire to learn more about how Charlie Kirk was murdered on a live stream in the most horrific way possible. And obviously left a lot of people wanting because there's just not been a ton of evidence that's been put out there. And even independent reporters from corporate media outlets, journalists there in Utah have said that they can't get anything. They can't get the security footage. They can't get the police recordings. They can't get anything. And the judge has ruled and might rule banning all cameras from the courthouse.
What?
In what would be the biggest insult to the American public. And I'm enraged about it. I'm doing everything I possibly can to make sure that doesn't happen because we deserve to know. But Candace, I think, it's taken advantage of the rightful longing for people that loved Charlie, worked with Charlie, myself included. I wasn't there. I'm not part of his show. I'm not part of his company. I worked with him, Turning Point for the last nearly decade. I love that guy. But I want to know, I want to see all of the evidence. Anyway, these are natural and important instincts to have. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you can't make unfounded claims or allegations against people. You have to be able to back up what you're saying, especially if it's causing an enormous amount of damage. And what Candace Owens did this week, which started a sort of cascade of events now, is put out this post. It's been seen by 15 million people. Here's what it says. I received information, final pieces together for me. I can say with full confidence that Charlie Kirk was betrayed by the leadership at Turning Point USA, some very powerful people who eulogized him on stage. Yes, I will be naming names and providing evidence for my claims, and I'll be making a personal plea to every well-meaning person who donated to this godforsaken organization to request a refund. You were all lied to and leadership knew. So, I mean, this was sent on December 2nd, 72 hours ago, and, it is
that's a nothing statement.
Quite the allegation that
betrayed
the people
how?
who are running Charlie Kirk's organization.
Betrayed how? I really want to hear betrayed how. Candace Owens is great at giving you nothing statements and making them sound like something statements. And I don't know why. Look, Bridget Macron and was it Prime Minister Macron, whatever the fuck Macron, that whole situation, even if she was a child molester and a dude, who cares? What does it change? One, the guy's already been thrown from, he's already not in power, I'm pretty sure. But what does it change? They've been married for his entire adult life. I just don't understand. Is it disgusting? Sure, if it's true. But at this point, she's old as hell. He's older than me. I know that for a fact. But whether or not she groomed him or whatever is one thing. But whether or not she's a man, who cares? Honestly, who cares? It's France. This is the kind of thing we expect from them. Who gives a shit? I don't know. And I mostly probably just don't care because it's Candace Owens and she's the worst. But
organization had him killed.
And the same thing with this. Sorry, I got on a side tangent. But she's throwing this betrayed. She's heavily leaning towards they killed him. And I know that because I've heard her say it. She's gone between Turning Point and the Jews. Both, sure, I love a good conspiracy theory. But at the same time, And it's like people are trying to say that it's because this kid, he's a kid. How could he have made that shot? It's not a hard shot. I am horribly inadequate with my hand-eye coordination, and I could have made that shot on day one of basic with no gun training previously. By the way,
is there any evidence of that? What do we got? Well, what we got yesterday was a challenge from Turning Point to Candace to defend this and a number of other statements that she has made about the murder of Charlie Kirk. This came from Blake Neff, who was a writer for Charlie. He's a writer and a producer, and he worked also previously for Tucker Carlson. The concentric circles are getting tight here. And Blake said on Charlie Kirk's show, here are all the theories or lies that you've told about us. We are going to set the record straight on every single one of them. We're going to do it live on our show. Everyone's going to be able to watch and see it. And Candace, you're invited to join us in person. Followed up by this. The live stream we announced on the show has been set at 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. local time on Monday, December 15th. A collection of Charlie's friends will respond to statements from Candace Owens to set the record straight once and for all prior to the opening of America Fest, the big Turning Point conference. We'll be live streaming it from Charlie's studio. The offer from yesterday holds. If Candace wishes to join us in person in Phoenix, she's welcome to do so. She can let us know by the end of the day. So this is what Blake has put out this morning on behalf of Charlie's team. Candace accepted last night.
Has had enough with the non-response, trying to move on, trying to gaslight us, not answering basic details. So we just went for it. And guess what? Turning Point has moved to formally respond to all the things that we have said. And after a very long diatribe in which they wildly misrepresent the public and global investigation of Charlie Kirk's assassination, they at long last issued a public invitation or a challenge. I'm not sure what it is.
I'm sorry, but Candace Owens looks like someone made a wish and said, can you make Gina from Martin just 10% more Pam?
But I accept. Okay? Quite literally, all we have ever asked for were sensible answers to our basic questions about what transpired on September 10th. And it looks like we're going to get those things. So major win. I am excited.
Well, everybody on the internet said, holy smokes, we're going to get this.
But I'm sure she said, you will never get this. You will never get this.
I know
la, 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 la.
I've been on Candace's show. Worked with Candace for a long time.
I'm not a fan.
Charlie for a long time. I wasn't a part of any of their businesses, you know, which is like, it's just a small group here. So let me tell you this honestly, without trying to get into any of the one detail or another. I wasn't there on that day. I saw the same things you did. I have the same access to information that you do. I'm frustrated with the amount of access that I have and the questions that I still remain about Charlie's death. I'm angry about it. I'm frustrated about it. But also, there are a lot of people who deserve to have their names cleared that are part of Charlie's team.
100%.
And the best way to do that is to just, like, freaking clear your name. And so this needs to happen. The same way that, like, the Candace accusing Ben Shapiro of this, Ben Shapiro accusing Candace of that, tit for tat. It's like, who can be the biggest victim? Let's have it out. Everybody say it on stage. Say it live. Let the facts speak for themselves.
Okay.
That's why this is critically important.
Oh,
People are
okay.
celebrating this. Now, there it is. Candace Owens officially accepted.
Okay, so
20 challenge to the
apparently,
date. The game is on.
fun fact, I just discovered, I've never looked at the top of this damn thing. I just discovered a mute button that apparently a small animal may have grazed it just slightly. So sorry about the technical difficulties there, but hey, I figured out how to fix the shit, so yay.
And then Candace dies in a mysterious accident. Okay, so there she goes again. And so there we go. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is obviously Candace watching the clip of Blake Neff, again, one of Charlie's producers and writers, breaking down all of the various allegations and theories that Candace has around Charlie's death. Then something incredible happened. Candace Owens seemingly may back out of this. Let's go ahead and read. Kind of weird how you didn't email me or ask me about times or availability and chose instead to tweet a confirmation at midnight. So this is the tweet that I just read to you, that they're ready. They're going to do this at 2 p.m. local time on this Monday, December 15th. Why am I learning about this on X? December 15th does not work in person, and 2 p.m. is the literal time I do my podcast live every day, which you know. We'll happily cancel the daily podcast. I'll join you guys virtually instead for the live stream on the 15th. Does that work on your end? Let's lock it in. She says, also, I will add that I'm happy to jump on Charlie's show any day before the virtual event as well. I was serious when I said that we could do it today, even. Virtually, I can make it happen pretty much any day because it's easier to move things around the kids and find somebody to sub for my morning homeschooling.
Huh.
Okay. Listen, man, I do a virtual show. We rarely have in-person guests. That's a shame. I wish that we could. We just don't get, this just sometimes it's hard to get people to travel through to Tampa. It would be a lot harder to book the show.
Shit, if you're paying for it.
People in every single day, it'd be a lot more expensive. And so it's just easier. Most people have a webcam, and people are just used to this, by now. Pat McAfee, there's a bunch of people that have successful, it's sort of almost near all digital shows, very little in person. And so I don't think it's a problem. It shouldn't be a problem to do this virtually. It seems like that's the offer. I think they should take her up on it. And
okay, so where's the backlash? Where's the demands?
It does feel like, okay, so I can see both ends here. Why not just make it work?
I'm not saying the
December 15th
demands
does
here.
not work in person. Yeah, I think a lot of people would really like to see that. I'd like to see Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro debate on a stage in person. And being virtual does certainly take some of the kinetic energy out of it. But I'll take anything. I'll take what we can get. I think that they should just let it. I think they should let it happen virtually.
I feel like 117,000 people
Charlie's show.
were very disappointed when they watched this. I'm just gonna boom.
We worked together at Turning Point. That's what we did. I wasn't part of the tour, but I want to see this happen. They invited you to participate. They didn't say that they would make it the Candace Owens show and work around your schedule. These are your allegations. It's incumbent upon you to make the schedule work.
Yeah.
Kind of like checking spell check before typing the wrong base. So, a lot of people saw the quartering also, sort of clobbering Candace, Tim Pool as well. I'm going to try, as I have tried throughout this, myself included.
I'm not saying
fire. And analysis would be that you've had a positive good.
Yeah, I'm not saying where. Look, I'm probably one of the most avid Candace Owens haters there are in existence on the internet, at least. I don't see the issue here. If that's what happened, they announced it online. I don't see what the issue is. That's not really making demands. Candace seems like a very selfish person. So, I can see how people like myself who don't like her can find a way to make this a reason to hate her. But I'm very big on Look, even if you don't like somebody, give them the benefit of the doubt. One, for your own peace of mind. But two, if you're always looking for something to hate somebody, you will find it. I don't care if it's a singular person. I don't care if it's a friend group, an entire cluster of people, whatever. If you want a reason to hate someone and you're seeking it, you will find it. It's just like the conservatives always say. If you look for racism, you'll find racism. If you look for this, you'll find this. Look for the better side of things. And honestly, if you complain about every little thing that someone you don't like does, then nobody will care because it's just you bitching at them for existing. Okay? This is the same for, conservatives who just hate the left who just hates people because they're conservative, which is very prominent these days. It's tiresome, which is one of the reasons why I don't consider myself a leftist anymore. I'm just a classic liberal. I don't even have a thing anymore. I've got things I'm conservative about. I got some things I'm liberal about. I guess fiscally conservative, in the traditional sense, maybe. But for the most part, I'm still a fairly liberal guy. And hopefully someday we can get to the point of Star Trek-y goodness. But in the meantime, I take Billy Bob Thornton from Landman's perspective on a lot of renewable energies and such. They're not sustainable. I know I'm going all over the place. It's early and I've only had one cup of coffee. But this has been kind of a nothing show. I really wanted to say something. So let's go over to X for a little bit and see what we have here. This is kind of ridiculous. People filing articles of impeachment for Pete Hegseth for murder. This looks like, you remember that guy that was every one of the Oompa Loompas in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Johnny Depp? I don't know what made me think of that. Look, if they're in there, that's fine. But you have to think of the kind of, when it comes to this, GTA 6, if you're just listening, GTA 6 will feature pride parades and queer representation. That's 100% fine. Because these things happen in big cities, it's okay to have them in there. But at the same time, GTA is known for people going on random violent rampages because they can. So you can do one of two things. You can either take that out of the game and no one will buy your shit game. Or two, you can shut the fuck up when people go on violent rampages and it just happens to come across one of these, or some of the assholes online, the trolls and such online will go directly to these things and start firing up. And it just invites a lot of bad energy because from there you can do one of two things. You can just bitch about it online, which is the road I would take, or just say nothing. Or two, the developers will probably go in there and make them all bulletproof, which is completely against the spirit of GTA in general. I don't care that this stuff's in there because it happens in real life, and these are probably the most detailed maps in all of gaming, at least as far as anywhere that's based off a real place. I asked ChatGPT to make her beautiful. Maybe this is all the studios need. Look. All right, that's pretty funny, Act-Man. Smash JT. Look, he's a troll. I'm not gonna say left or right wing. He's probably leans right wing, but he seems like a decent enough guy. But online, he's a douchebag. It doesn't mean I want anything bad to happen to him. The Act-Man's kind of a douchebag. I've been watching Act-Man for a lot longer though. But look, nobody cares about giant honkers, okay? Everyone just wants those giant pointy polygons from the PlayStation N64 days. This is kind of ridiculous. Look, this is more than enough. This is easily a solid C, probably low D. Like, how big do they need? She's a Tomb Raider. She needs to squeeze through tight places. these are going to get in the way of that. And by the time she gets home, they're no fun anymore. I mean, come on. Ronda Rousey, who said Joe Rogan wasn't a fighting expert, just a fan with... Look, and I don't understand this whole issue between Ronda Rousey and Joe Rogan. She said what she said. She's been a very emotional being ever since she got clobbered twice. Once when she was at the very top, and she never really recovered from that. And then the second one, she went and hid in wrestling, which is fine. A lot of people do it, but Rev and his girl are just adorable. I don't know what they look like in real life, but online, they're little anime caricatures, or they're VTuber caricatures. They're just adorable. Pretty much. Illegals don't use benefits. 2025. How dare Trump take their benefits? Narrative shift complete. Pretty much. Let me explain something to you, Hassan. A random dude showing you a meme of you abusing your dog is not the same as... Yeah, is that what he said? Hold on.
They're equal opportunity, and Destiny and Asmongold and Dan Saltman, whose addresses are all readily available in the same exact websites and platforms that they rely on, that their fan bases go to find my address, to harass me. Okay? These guys are equal opportunity autists. They're equal opportunity cyberstalkers. You're playing a very fucking dangerous game when you lean into this shit.
Look at yourself, Hassan. Like, I know Tectone hates the shit out of you because you and all your cronies have been attacking him for a long time, and he still hasn't come back to his daily live stream. I never really watched much of his stuff, but I follow him on here just because the whole beef between you two is hilarious, because you're a giant douchebag, and he's a smaller streamer. He is. You're a douchebag. You're basically PC Principal in human form. Try Rachel. Wait, are those giant? Those got to be covers. Anyway, yeah. This is just sad. Like, stop doing competing things. Like, it works for her because a lot of people like her. No one likes Rachel Zegler. This is just a fact. And that makes it look like your boobs are nothing but nipple. And nobody likes that. A lot of people don't care about it, but nobody likes it. Make a retard great again? I mean, I am great. Oh, buy my hat, retard. I love Ricky Berwick. Okay. What's preforming? Look. First of all, the fact. It's not a fact. Could it have happened? Yes, 100%. Dean Withers, you fucking grifter. You are not the Joe Rogan of the left. You're just kind of a namby-pamby person who's terrified of his audience like Hassan Piker. You're a horrible human being, and you take things out of context to get people canceled, and that's all you're known for, is being a bitch. Okay? Trump being a rapist is not a fact. It's been litigated. He's been found guilty in civil court, where the burden of proof is you made a complaint, here's some money, basically. But he hasn't been criminally charged of that. And the only place he's been criminally charged of anything is New York, where the person ran on making him pay, and she did that. Because a jury of one's peers, made completely of someone who hates someone, is an easy way to get someone guilty of anything, especially when you mark up misdemeanors that need an initiating crime or offense to be upgraded to felonies. Wasn't met. So, yeah, a lot of this stuff is ridiculous. Look, no one's saying that all women deserve this, and no women deserve this in general. But you have to know what you're voting for. And simply because conservatives hate something or don't like something, or maybe even in some cases, not always, are more knowledgeable of something than you, in this case, Islam, or at least the kind of Islam that's practiced where a lot of these refugees are coming from. Is this a great response from conservatives? No. It's never okay. I mean, short of someone walking into a club and saying, hey, fuck everybody in the club, the old Cat Williams bit, I mean, you did vote for it. And you definitely probably voted for it. Definitely, probably. Jesus, listen to me. But I just can't with some of this shit. Ooh, what's that? Name this land? Well, it's shining a light. It must be Israel. Crowder CEO. Oh, I don't like him. And this is silly. Look, it's okay to be religious. It's okay to be part of the LGBT community. 100%. Both of those things. And like, what are you following here exactly? Like, I understand a lot of conservatives have been forced to modernize with the times, which other religions have not. And that's often used against them because they are now the same people who have told them to modernize are now calling them hypocrites because they pick and choose basically things that have been deemed offensive over the years, given enough strain, and I've seen enough over my lifetime. This is kind of silly. And this kind of thing all started, look, like 20 years ago. Some of my gay friends asked me if I thought being gay was a sin. I was like, why are you asking me? I don't go to church. They're like, do you think it's a sin, though? And I said, yes, it's a sin. Just like many things that people don't like, or a lot of things that people enjoy doing that are fun or awesome or thrilling are sins. They're sinful. It's just a fact. When it comes to the religious text itself, it's in there. But at the same time, why do you care? As long as Christians aren't coming to you actively and doing the caring shit, if it's that caring, compassionate Christian thing where they're actually trying to convert you in a way that's not demeaning or anything like that, then that's one thing. But that's not the same thing. We have to be able to coexist. We just have to. Otherwise, it's going to get to where, aren't you the same girl who shot a murder fantasy, kill men music video in a Catholic church? Yeah. How's this a burn, Olivia Julian? Olivia Julian's kind of like the Krasensteins, except she's a fat bitch. Sorry, Twitter X is great for my ADD. First of all, Absolute Batman is not Batman. Absolute Batman is Absolute Batman. The same way the Ultimate Universe is not the Marvel Universe. The Absolute Universe is not the DC Universe. It's a universe inside the DC, but it's not the DC Universe. I don't see what we're talking about here. But anyway, guys, that's enough of Twitter trash. I got to get ready, throw some, get my teeth brushed and get to work. Thank you all very much. I appreciate y'all for stopping by, the few of you that have popped in here. Today was kind of a nothing show. It's been mostly the X-tinction level tweets. In case for Trump, Milo Yiannopoulos claims every man who is gay was molested. Not every one of them. But you do see it a lot. I'm sorry, Milo. Wow, what a train wreck he is. But anyway, I love you all. Thank you all for coming here. Just remember, we all have to be able to coexist, okay? The compassion that one side wants needs to be given just as equally, okay? You can't hate someone for not agreeing with your lifestyle, okay? You just can't. Because if it's okay for you, why can't it be okay for them to hate you for disagreeing with your lifestyle? Seriously. I'm talking to Christians, I'm talking to gay people, I'm talking to everyone. But mostly the left. Because the right's been very, very tolerant for a little bit. There are a few Karens in there, yes. But that number, at least until the Biden presidency, was at an all-time low. And I'm someone who spent most of his life in the Bible Belt, the worst of it. It's at an all-time low, unless you go out to the mountains somewhere. But that being said, just be respectful. Try your best to see the sunny side of things. That same power you use to see how horrible everything is and everything that you do, you can do the opposite. You can turn that curse into a privilege. I can do it. It's the only reason I'm not dead. So I know you can do it too. Try with me. We'll see you tomorrow. I'll definitely be on tomorrow morning. I've got to run out first thing in the morning for something. And then when I get back, preferably with coffee in hand, I will probably watch the Crowder-Fuentes interview. I'm going to preview a little bit of it today to see if there's even anything there. I don't want it to be as boring as the Carlson-Fuentes one. But I think these two talking will be interesting because Crowder loves facts. And I don't know a lot about Fuentes except that he's a known white supremacist. But we'll see if that's true. Tomorrow morning, like I said, I'm going to preview it. If not, then we'll probably jump and watch the content nuke that started this whole mess with Ethan Klein. But either way, I will see you tomorrow.